Face mask. They are now everywhere we go. I'm so thankful that many in our Church Lakes faith family, you've been using your gifts and time to sew masks, to send to hospitals and to nursing facilities. You think about it, 6 months ago, the only ones wearing masks were people in the medical community or bank robbers. Now even kindergartners are wearing masks to class. And I don't know many people who like these crazy things. They steam up glasses, they pose challenges to those who are hearing impaired, and they are barriers to young people trying to smile at that special person in class. Yet in this season, they are really necessary to help us slow the spread of this virus. And as we turn to Exodus chapter 34, read about how Moses had to put on his face mask so that he could interact with his people. You know, for 40 days and 40 nights, Moses had been in the presence of the Lord, receiving the instructions that would govern God's people. And because he had been close to the Lord, Moses' face was reflecting the glory to such a degree that it was blinding to others. Much of like what happens when you get a sunburn, there are others who may notice long before you notice that you are red. So in consideration of others, Moses put on a mask, but when he was in the Lord's presence, he let his mask down so he could soak in as much of that glory as possible. I think there are two things that I want to stand out to me about Moses wearing a face mask. I think the first is how, in consideration of others, Moses wore his veil so that he could abide amongst his people. I'm sure that, like myself, Moses probably didn't want to wear a mask. Like myself, Moses sensed that he would not always be shining God's glory. But for a short period of time, in order to safely interact with his people, he wore a veil. I think the second thing that stands out is how Moses reflected the glory of God because Moses was spending time with the Lord. To reflect means to throw back light. When we're living for God, people sense within us something different as we're shining Christ's light for others. When we see the glory of God and spend time with God, we're going to be changed. Transformation happens when we enter into God's experience deeply into our own life. We become more compassionate, more loving, more forgiving, more truthful, more considerate. Our actions when we serve others instead of just of ourselves. So at work, at home, in school, and in the community, people around us then begin to see evidence that we're trying to follow the guidance of our Lord and to live in the light of His glory. So for this season, I hope in consideration of others, you'll wear those annoying masks because it is but for a season. And during this time, we are making available special Church Lakes face masks so that when you're out going about your business, you can let others know that you belong to our faith family, where we are living on our mission about connecting all to Christ, become healthy in God and courageous in love. I hope you enjoy those masks.